So, do you ever wonder when your learning is going to stop and you're going to have enough to do what you're supposed to do? Well, stay tuned and we're going to talk about that today. All right, so today we're going to talk about learning and developing yourself. And it's something that we all need to understand never ends. Especially today, we have such a different type of mentality than we used to have. See, when we were, well, at least my age group was younger, we would make a decision about what we were going to go to college for those that went to college, or in the case of my husband who didn't go to college, made a decision on the kind of career path that he wanted to go down, and he learned the skill of a mechanic, and he became a boat mechanic, and he was there for 15 years before he moved on to another type of business where he now works with the cable company and builds his own business. I went on to college because I knew I wanted to be a teacher since I was a little kid. So years I went to college for becoming a teacher, and they taught me everything that was necessary to get the certification to become the teacher. And then I went to college to become a principal, and they taught me everything I needed to know to pass the certification to become the principal. And then of course there's in the trenches, when you're actually doing the work, you have to be learning so many other things that was never even taught in that formal education. And if you have any kinds of goals in life, in your business, you have to continue to develop yourself. And unfortunately, it takes time to do that. It's not like you're going to just miraculously be developed. It's a process that you should be embracing for the long term. Anything that you want to do is going to take some from teaching. And a lot of times people think, well, I don't have time. I don't have time to take that course. I don't have time to take that class. I don't have time to read that book. But without doing that, you miss out on really developing yourself in a way to become who you really are meant to become. So develop you, and you can do anything because of who you are and who you become. I talked to one of my mentors, Cedric Harris, and I had asked him, well, how long does it actually take for people? Is it realistic for people to build a business in a year, 3 years, 5 years? And he said something to me that was so empowering. He said, it doesn't, if anybody tells you that there's a certain timeline on how long it takes to build a strong business, they're lying to you. It takes as long as it takes for that person to grow into themselves. And I thought that is so important to think about. See, a lot of us, we don't take the time to grow into ourselves. We have so much potential, and we have so much that we could actually accomplish if we had the tools and the skills to do that. But we don't spend the time to develop ourselves in order to become who we were meant to become. And if you're a busy mom, busy worker, if you're still going to school for what you thought was going to be your passion in your career, it doesn't mean that you're not developing yourself. I always had this desire to learn, so I would always read new books. It wasn't until I actually got my scary health diagnosis that I read so much about health and nutrition that wasn't even on my radar at the time. And now, I know so much more, became certified in that field, but I'm on a whole nother path now, and learning just continues to happen. And as we continue to take on new learning and new skills and new tools, our opportunities, what we have the opportunity to do, changes. And that's where we don't become stagnant. That's where we don't limit ourselves to what we thought once we knew. We actually open up doors to things that we didn't know we could actually do. So I want to encourage you today to figure out how to not multitask, because always think about when you're multitasking, you kind of lose some of that ability to focus on something, but really try to double task. If you're walking on the treadmill, have an Audible book in your ear, or a class that's online, even listening to it while you drive. Try to really use your time wisely so that you can make sure that you are craving more knowledge. With our information age, with podcasts and Facebook Lives and videos, there's no reason that you don't have everything open to you to learn. You just got to start somewhere and make it a pattern, make it a habit that you are going to crave that every day. And you'd be amazed when you get those lessons inside of your spirit, what you can actually accomplish, because you now know what things to do differently or what might interest you differently. I didn't even know about gardening when I started this journey in life. I didn't know about internet marketing. I didn't know about social. Obviously, we didn't have the social media and the ability to communicate like we do now, but I didn't stop learning, and for people that say, well, I don't mess with that, I don't want to know about that, it's ignorant. Learn everything you can, because if you don't continue to grow into who you are supposed to be. So I want to encourage you today to keep learning, develop yourself, take the time, figure it out. If you are a busy person, figure it out. Even if it's 10 minutes a day to read a book at night before you go to bed, you want to make sure that you're putting in that time to grow into yourself. That's when you'll have a successful business. Have a great day, guys. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at mariaribka.com.